All you good people just trying to make a difference. Ted, I'm so sorry.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're looking at the Ted Lasso moments that reminded us that it's okay to ugly cry. Spoilers for seasons 1 through 3.
Life, it's hard. It's real hard.
Number 20. Ted learns about Jake. When Ted left Kansas, he underestimated how much would change. Despite being away from his family, Ted maintains contact with his son Henry, who understands that his dad needs to see Richmond through the season. A playful conversation turns soul-crushing when Henry shows Ted his Infinity Gauntlet, saying that he got it from Mom's friend Jake. Just as Thanos wiped out half of all life in the universe, this revelation breaks at least half of Ted's heart.
What is that?
Thanos' Infinity Gauntlet. Jake gave it to me.
Oh, snap. Well, that's cool. Who's Jake?
Mommy's friend.
He tries to put up a chipper front, but on the inside, Ted is overwhelmed with sorrow knowing that Jake is probably spending more time with Henry than him. This moment marks the beginning of a turning point for Ted, who will soon have to make another life-changing choice.
Great.
Number 19. Rebecca can't get pregnant. Rebecca didn't think motherhood was in the cards for her until she saw a psychic. After several premonitions came true, Rebecca decides that the fertility clinic might be worth a visit. She receives a call shortly after.
Hello, Doctor. Yes. Big loss today.
While we don't hear the doctor over the phone, the expression on Rebecca's face says everything. Although she's alone, Rebecca still tries to hide her disappointment behind a forced smile. She then calls Keely, who doesn't pick up, emphasizing that Rebecca has nobody to go home to.
Right, yes, and that's what I thought. Oh, it's definitely to be sure.
Rebecca doesn't dwell on this news, figuring that having a child was always a long shot. Rebecca forgets that you don't need to have a child biologically. Sometimes, one unexpectedly comes into your life. Number 18. Ted talks to his mother. Therapy helps Ted to address the trauma he's been repressing since his father died. Ted isn't the only one who's been shielding pain behind a folksy Midwestern attitude. When Ted's mother Dottie spontaneously comes to town, Ted finally confronts her. Of course, he does this the Ted Lasso way. For every criticism directed at his mother, a compliment follows.
For not working on yourself. Or seeking help after we lost Dad. And for not talking to me about it either. Just glossing over the whole thing and acting like everything was all right.
While Ted loves his mother and appreciates everything she's done for him, ignoring the tragedy that's loomed over their family was her biggest mistake as a parent. Dottie owns up to her missteps, but takes this opportunity to tell Ted that he needs to be there for his son.
Your son misses you.
Yeah, I know. I miss him too.
They conclude that no parent is perfect. If you keep playing, though, you're doing something right. Number 17. Ted learns of Nate's betrayal. Ted recognized Nate's talents when most wrote him off as a lowly equipment manager.
By the power vested in me by the Associated Football Club of Richmond, I now pronounce you Coach Nate.
It seemed like such a joyous moment when Nate got promoted to assistant coach, but this marked the beginning of his dark descent.
You made me feel like I was the most important person in the whole world. And then you abandoned me. Like you switched out of life just like that.
Slowly but surely, Nate's newfound position brings out his insecure, narcissistic, toxic side. This culminates with Nate tipping off Trent Krim about Ted's panic attack. Ted learns of this in the most impersonal way, through a text from Trent. The fact that Trent reveals his anonymous source speaks volumes about his growth as a character, but it also exposes Nate's devious turn. Aside from the fear of what's to come, the look in Ted's eyes unearths the heartbreak of being betrayed by someone he thought was a friend. Number 16. Jamie apologizes to Keely. When Jamie and Keely break up in season 1, she tries explaining accountability to him.
What are you saying sorry to him for?
Being accountable matters, Jamie. Done.
Jamie doesn't process this, although Keely's words finally get through to him 2 seasons later. Following an explicit video leak, some people act as if Keely's to blame. To Keely's surprise, Jamie is there for her when nobody else is. Jamie forgot to delete the video after they broke up. Keeley tells Jamie that this isn't his fault since he wasn't the one who made the video public. Nevertheless, Jamie feels that Keeley deserves an apology.
So stupid, I should have been more careful. Should have picked a stronger password or something.
Oh no. Don't tell me your password was password, Jamie.
Yeah.
When Keeley hugs Jamie, it isn't just for providing comfort. It's because he's matured into somebody who understands that being accountable matters. Jamie might not realize how much he's grown, but Keeley does. Number 15, the team joins Sam's protest.
I would like to pull out of my campaign with Dubai Air.
What? Why?
Well, it has come to my attention that Dubai Air's parent company, Cerithium Oil, is destroying Nigeria's environment and at the same time bribing government officials to look the other way.
Mirroring real-world struggles that still persist, Sam is left in a difficult position upon realizing that Richmond's sponsor, Dubai Air, is polluting his homeland of Nigeria. This also puts Rebecca in a tough spot when Dubai Air tells her to fire Sam for boycotting an ad campaign.
Sometimes you have to do the right thing, even if you lose.
Yes. Yes, you do.
While Rebecca pushes back against the sponsor, Sam puts his career on the line by protesting Dubai Air on live television. Isaac and Winchester join Sam, but their cause isn't limited to the team's Nigerian members.
What do you think you're doing?
We're a team, aren't we? Gotta wear the same kit.
As Jamie sets aside his ego, he finally learns the value of teamwork, encouraging the rest of Richmond to follow. Watching the team march onto the field in solidarity, it's hard not to break down in tears of inspiration.
Hey. A toast to Sam, who did something incredible tonight. Little Nigerian prick stole my thunder. No, but seriously. To Sam.
Number 14, Colin comes out. Colin finds that he isn't alone after confiding in Trent about his secret.
An ache. An ache for both my lives. To be my only life.
After Isaac learns the truth, though, their friendship begins to sour. We aren't entirely sure what's going through Isaac's head until he confronts a homophobic spectator. As the team discusses what prompted this, Colin is compelled to come out. While the team is quick to accept Colin, Ted naturally goes the extra mile.
We don't not care. We care very much. We care about who you are and what you must have been going through.
In his own unique way, Ted explains they care that Colin is gay, but for all the right reasons. Although a weight has been lifted, there's still one person Colin needs to speak with. Despite initially coming off as cold, Isaac cares about Colin most of all.
I hid it from people for years, and the second you find out, I didn't last a month.
I'm sorry, bruv.
Going forward, there's nothing Colin can't tell him. Number 13, Ted accepts the end of his marriage. Ted's friendly nature is his greatest strength and his one weakness. Ted is such a genuinely nice guy that he goes through mental gymnastics to avoid issues staring him in the face. It's apparent that his marriage to Michelle is over, although Ted doesn't want to admit this to himself. Even after he moves to another country, Ted believes there's still life left in their union. It isn't until Ted sees Michelle in tears that he realizes how much hurt she's been repressing.
You don't have to keep trying anymore. It's okay. I'm gonna be okay.
Michelle isn't in love with Ted anymore, but she still cares about him enough to put on a smile. As hard as Ted tries to tiptoe around the D word, the idea of Michelle being unhappy convinces him to let her go.
I promised myself I would never quit anything in my life.
But you're not quitting, Ted. You're just letting me go.
Number 12, repairing Sam's restaurant. Mirroring real life, Sam enters a Twitter feud with Home Secretary Brenda Barrow, who seeks to keep refugees out of the country. When Sam condemns her, Barrow borrows a line from Laura Ingram's playbook. Sam calls Barrow out for what she is, but their rivalry soon stretches beyond social media. Finding that his restaurant has been broken into and vandalized, it becomes clear to Sam that bigotry doesn't end with Barrow.
My son, listen to me. Don't fight back. Fight forward.
Fortunately, Sam's father's in town, providing a shoulder to cry on with wise advice. The team is there for Sam as well, wasting no time getting construction underway. Sam learns that there may always be bigots, but as long as there are people like his teammates, there's nowhere to go but forward.
The surprise is ruined. What are you guys doing here?
Well, we all just asked ourselves, What does this situation need?
We thought your situation needed us.
Number 11, Ted's panic attack. Although Ted agrees to the divorce, the reality of the situation doesn't truly sink in until the papers arrive. He finally breaks down during a performance of Let It Go, which is usually an uplifting song, but its title hits too close to home for Ted. His hands uncontrollably twitch, he becomes short of breath, and the sounds surrounding him are drowned out. As Ted secludes himself in a bubble of anxiety, Rebecca, of all people, comes to his aid.
It's okay. Try to breathe.
I can't. I don't know what's going on. I'm sorry.
It's okay. You're having a panic attack. Just breathe.
It's the moment that confirms Rebecca's heart isn't made of ice, and that behind Ted's chipper optimism, there's a complex soul battling internal pain.
Oh, hey, do me a favor. Just let Beard know I went back to the hotel.
Of course. You just get home safe.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
As Ted walks home, our hearts break along with Rebecca's, who begins to see the error of her ways. Number 10, Nate apologizes to Ted. Nate spends most of season 3 regretting how he left things with Ted. Despite Nate's past behavior, Richmond doesn't hesitate to invite him back. Even Beard is willing to put his reservations aside as a thank you to Ted.
So to honor that, I forgive you. I offer you a job. The life part's up to you.
Although all appears to be forgiven, the believe sign's absence serves as a reminder of how awful Nate acted. Alone with Ted, Nate unleashes the guilt he's been carrying since leaving. While Nate's redemption arc can admittedly come off as rushed and uneven, we'd be lying if we said watching him break down in Ted's arms didn't get us choked up.
It's okay.
No, please, can you just let me say it? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Even if the journey might have been bumpy, the closure point feels just right as Ted and Nate bond over the torn sign. Number 9, Ted seeks help.
Hey, Doc, you get any trouble last night?
Nothing I care to speak about at work.
Woo, Doc, you are more mysterious than David Blaine reading a Sue Grafton novel at Area 51.
Well, Ted, make an appointment when you need to talk.
Hey, I talk all the time, Doc. Just let me follow you around for 10 minutes. After 5, you want me to hush my butt.
Ted's first major panic attack isn't an isolated incident, but he remains in denial that he has a problem that requires outside assistance. He's especially resistant when Dr. Sharon Fieldstone comes on board as the team's psychologist.
You don't know me. We don't have history. And yet you just expect me to spill my guts about all the gory details of my life. The fights, the mistakes, my deep, dark secrets.
Sharon can tell that Ted is harboring something negative underneath the jolly persona he's maintained. Her suspicions are confirmed when Ted endures another panic attack. Sharon finds Ted waiting in her office, ready to make an appointment.
Are you okay?
I want to make an appointment.
Although Ted takes his first step towards acknowledging that he has a mental health condition, the vulnerable expression on his face is beyond disheartening. Even Sharon didn't seem to realize how much Ted has been concealing, and the walls are just beginning to crumble. Number 8, Richmond's loss. The season 1 finale's title says it all: the hope that kills you.
I disagree, I think it's the lack of hope that comes and gets you. See, I believe in hope. I believe in belief.
Ted has spent the season earning the team's respect and friendship. His positive energy proves infectious, giving Richmond and the audience confidence to believe that victory is impending.
Hold on, can you believe it? It's Kent!
Although Roy suffers a devastating blow that solidifies the end of his time on the field, a win still appears to be within reach. Richmond celebrates too early, as Jamie makes an extra pass that nets his team the game.
Manchester City win, and AFC Richmond's time in the Premier League is over.
The one silver lining is that Jamie's actions demonstrate his maturity as a team player, learning to not hog all the glory for himself. Unfortunately, Jamie is chastised by his father for sharing the spotlight, leaving Ted to act as a true father figure. Number 7. Rebecca asks Ted to stay. Win or lose, Ted is ready to move on. Rebecca also appears ready to start a new chapter, but only if this is truly it for Ted. In a stadium of empty seats, Rebecca pitches the idea of Ted staying.
I respect that you need to go home to your son, Ted. But I just want you to consider the possibility that this is your home.
Ted already knows his answer, and deep down, Rebecca always knew what he would decide. She still had to ask.
You already know your answer, don't you?
I do, yeah.
I know. I just had to try.
They share one last tearful goodbye at the airport where Rebecca tells Ted she's decided to stay at Richmond after all.
What the heck you doing here?
I just bought a ticket to get through security so I could come and say a proper goodbye.
Rebecca might have hired Ted with the intent of destroying Richmond. Not only did this have the opposite effect, but Ted and Rebecca's friendship would get them both where they needed to be. It's a fitting farewell. Until the next season, that is. Number 6. Roy returns. After retiring from playing soccer, Roy struggles to leave Richmond behind. While he makes for a highly entertaining sports commentator, Roy realizes that there's only one place where he belongs. Deciding to take Ted up on his coaching offer, Roy leaves mid-broadcast. Adding to the unprofessionalism, Roy tells off his co-hosts, although even they seem to respect that he's following his heart.
Roy! Jeff, I have to go.
Roy heads straight to Richmond, where he's greeted by a cheering crowd who missed him almost as much as he missed the game. It's the sports equivalent of somebody rushing to the airport to declare their love for somebody. Just when you think this couldn't get any more like a rom-com, Roy throws in a Jerry Maguire reference.
Hello, Coach. Really glad you decided.
Shut up. Just shut up. You had me at coach.
Number 5. Rebecca's eulogy. The death of Rebecca's father summons mixed emotions. While the sudden loss hits Rebecca hard, she struggles to celebrate the life of a man who cheated on her mother. Even after Rebecca learns that her mother was aware of his infidelity, the anger she feels towards him remains.
You knew and you did nothing.
Of course I knew. I know everything.
Then I hate you too. I hate you for letting him treat you like that.
Although Rebecca agrees to deliver a eulogy, she's at a loss for words until Ted arrives. Rebecca finds it easier to express herself through song, reciting one of her parents' favorites.
Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down, never gonna run around and desert you.
What's often seen as a campy song becomes heart-wrenching and almost solemn as Rebecca tears up through the first verse. With Ted encouraging the rest of the church to provide backup, Rebecca makes it through the eulogy in one piece and emerges a little stronger.
Never gonna give, never gonna give.
Give you up.
Never gonna give, never gonna give.
Give you up.
Number 4. Rebecca tells Ted the truth. The first season was always building toward Ted learning why Rebecca hired him, but we didn't anticipate how the truth would come out. A lesser show would have seen a third party let the cat out of the bag, creating a lasting rift between Ted and Rebecca. This show doesn't go for the cheap shots, however.
I mean, what would be the point of telling Ted now? It doesn't change anything.
It will change how I feel about you.
Encouraged by Keely, Rebecca sincerely sees that her motives were wrong, tearfully confessing everything to Ted.
This club is all that Rupert has ever cared about, and I wanted to destroy it. To cause him as much pain and suffering as he has caused me. And I didn't care who I used or who I hurt.
We're not sure whether to feel worse for Rebecca, who is visibly overcome with guilt, or Ted, who finds out he was a pawn in a vengeful scheme. While Ted is hurt, he's quick to forgive Rebecca, appreciating her eventual honesty.
Divorce is hard. And it doesn't matter if you're the one leaving or if you're the one who got left. It makes folks do crazy things.
It might have started as a lie, but a true friendship has developed. Number 3, fixing the believe sign. There were moments when even Ted struggled to believe. As he prepares for his last game at Richmond, though, Ted sees how unbreakable the team has become. After Ted previously ripped up the Believe sign as a motivator, the team reveals that they kept the pieces. Before heading out to the field, they reassembled the poster. This heartwarming display is a perfect metaphor for what Ted Lasso is all about.
And there it is. Number 4. Yeah.
Belief is fragile and sometimes seems beyond repair. But when a team supports one another, there's nothing that a little tape can't fix. Just because Ted is returning to Kansas doesn't mean he won't miss the friends he made along the way.
There's no place like home. That's true. Man, there ain't a whole lot of places like AFC Richmond either.
Number 2. Ted opens up about his dad. In one of the show's most uplifting moments, Ted bests Rupert in a game of darts, revealing that he used to play with his father until he passed away.
Have you played a lot of darts, Ted? Which I would have answered, yes, sir. Every Sunday afternoon at a sports bar with my father from age 10 till I was 16 when he passed away.
As life-affirming as this scene is, it takes on a darker sentiment when we later learn how Ted's father died.
Do you want to talk about it now?
No. No, not right now. I need to get back inside of the team. I just wanted you to know.
As Rebecca grapples with the grief of losing her father, Ted tells Dr. Sharon about the day he lost his dad. An ordinary day became probably the most traumatic of Ted's life as he found his father's body following a gunshot.
I think he would have known how good he was. That stuff he didn't really care about being good at. I don't think he would have done it. And I wish I would have told him. I wish I would have told him more.
Suddenly, Ted's history of panic attacks and repressed emotions makes more sense. Ted unleashes the anger, regret, and sadness that has been boiling inside of him since he was 16, needing a hug afterward.
Are you going to charge me for this session?
Of course I am.
Okay.
For the house call.
I appreciate your integrity.
You're welcome.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Roy hugs Jamie. Speaking of hugs, Roy and Jamie gradually work through their rivalry as Season 2 progresses. A turning point comes when Richmond loses to Manchester City, much to the dismay of Jamie's father.
You know that ickle TV show you made? It just made it easier for Manchester City to kick you to the curb. And look where you are now. Twaddling about with a bunch of amateurs. No offence, no offence.
Although this isn't the first time we've seen Mr. Tart mistreat his son, this public display of animosity pushes Jamie to finally strike back. The only thing more satisfying than seeing Jamie punch his old man is watching Coach Beard kick him out.
Watch the door. Oops.
The biggest surprise of all comes when Roy embraces Jamie, giving him permission to unleash the waterworks. As Jamie and Roy have a breakthrough, Ted is unable to stay in the room as memories of his own father are summoned. Ted's influence on Roy is felt through this hug, however. Which Ted Lasso moment had you unapologetically crying? Let us know in the comments.
I never know how to react when a white guy does the running man in front of everyone.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.